Well, good evening, y'all. I started this video because I was running some wires and fixing to install a Onan auto start system. So I was trying to do some pre-planning. I was thinking about how I was going to run my wires from the back bedroom thermostat up to the hallway. And I was under here looking at my wire routing, what I could do to get it there. And as I was doing this, I came across something, and then that got me thinking of an earlier repair I thought I would talk about. But anyways, let me show you. You see this piece of metal here. Well, normally it sits up in here just like that. Okay, so I was in here looking at my wires, and I was moving some stuff out of the way from the storage, and then I noticed rust. So it got me to thinking. I said, now rust should not be there. How in the world can I be getting rust way up inside this storage bin? If I got rust, I got moisture, and moisture in RVs, you know, that doesn't work out too well. So I got to checking, and here's what I found out is this fitting right here. I've already took the nut off of it, and my light's falling down. Come on, light, get it back in place. There we go. Anyways, I found my leak because this fitting is doing this nonsense, just loose. So I've got it off here, and I've discovered a couple things. So I'm hoping that's threaded. I assume it is. So my goal is to unscrew it, get me some fresh tape, and try to get that leak fixed. In fact, I had a leak similar to this. I believe on my fresh water tank, I kept losing prime on my water pump, and I had a similar situation where I was sucking air. So it's something to keep in mind if your water pump's giving you trouble. Check these crazy PEX fittings if you got one loose. So anyway, and of course this is the black tank, which is strange. Not a good place to have a leak. But luckily it's, you know, it would only leak a little when it was really a high level. So evidently it didn't do much, or maybe hopefully it only leaked when I was doing the flush, because I don't think I really ever let it get that full. But something else I discovered, so when I winterize this, I just blow all the lines out with air compressor. Been doing that for years. This is a 2005 Winnebago 38J. But this kind of surprised me. I blew this out, winterized it 6 months ago, and I noticed I have water in this line when I took this off. And so this line is not getting blowed out, and it held water all this time. Of course, PEX is pretty tough when it comes to freezing, as long as it's got somewhere to go. But that is something else I need to do, because this PEX line, this fitting, actually is particular to the Sandy flush, that right there. So when you hook your water hose up to that, that's where it blows or attempts to clean out the tank. I guess it does a pretty good job. But a couple things I want to talk about, because first of all, when you're doing this PEX, always get you one of these little tools. They're I think that came from Amazon. Very handy little PEX tool for getting these fittings loose. Another thing I discovered is, you know, getting this off that barb can, you know, it just is not going to pull off. I took a lighter and gently warmed it up, and then it pulled off pretty easy. So keep that in mind. So I'll get me some Teflon tape and reseal this, get that done. But I want to talk about how this system works. In an earlier repair I did where I had a leak, and that was due to this goofy valve. So that's what I'll talk about here. This crazy thing. That's an Acme, what's it called? There it is, Cash Acme Type 1 something valve. It is a backflow preventer. And the way this works, of course I understand their thinking. Let me get this out of the way. I'm doing some rewiring and stuff here, so I've got a mess of stuff going on. But see, this is something I've added, my own backflow preventer, because I didn't like the one they had in there. The one they have in there sits way up high, you know, about 2 foot above this, up behind the cabinet. So let me show you from the back side, maybe get a better idea. And I think another thing I'm going to do, I believe I'm going to leave that plate of metal out, because it really makes it nice to access all the plumbing. In case there's an issue, I can easily see what's going on. And let me see here. Okay. It's kind of tight back here. But let's see. That one that I'm moving. Okay. You see the line that goes up. So when you hook your water hose to it to flush out, you can't see there. The water goes up into the cabinet, way behind the cabinet, about 2 foot up above the floor level, goes through that Acme valve, and then comes back down into this line, and then sprays out the black tank. Let me take you inside and show you where that thing was. Okay, so here we are in the bathroom, and this goofy valve is mounted. You can see it's kind of dark back here, but there's a little bitty screw hole here that was mounted on the back side where you just absolutely can't get to it. I never got the thing loose. They had a screw in it. I had to use like a 1/4-inch ratchet with a little Phillips bit on the end of it, and like one click at a time I finally got it loose. Now what I ended up doing after I got this out, I just bypassed it, put me in a fitting where it still runs up high, because you can see the one line right here. It just comes up, over, and right back down. So I just eliminated this check valve because I was getting water leaks from it. And another strange thing, let me show you how this thing is made. This is really bizarre. I understand why they want it, you know, because you don't want to suck sewage back into the municipality's water system. But it's got a little check valve in here, so when you go to blow out your black tank, water flows up from the bottom. There's a little plastic disc. It jumps up, and when it jumps up, it's supposed to make a seal. There is I think it's Teflon rubber seal. I'm doing this one-handed. It jumps up and seals right here, and you can see it down here. But over time, this seal gets damaged or whatever, gets crud in it, and it no longer seals. So when the water pressure comes up, it jumps up, creates a seal, allows water to flow out and into the black tank to rinse it out. Then when the water pressure is off, then this drops down, creating an air gap. So it allows the tank to vent up through this. But what is weird, what is weird about this is the fact that it actually vents the sewer, some of this. Well, I guess as long as you had a little water in it, it wouldn't. But if that water ever dried out, you would get, I would assume you'd get sewer smell from this tea. So if you hardly ever used, like how I took that fitting off, you seen water in it, so that water would prevent any fumes from getting into the RV. But because this mounts right in here, just behind that piece of wood, if over time that hose dried out of water, then the sewer gases would come right up into the RV, which is just, because in this state, when there's no water flowing, this falls down, and it's got a direct path from here to the top, right into the black tank. So I thought, well, that's a very strange way of doing things. You know, of course, as long as your vent is working properly on your black tank, the one that goes through the roof, then I guess you're fine, because it's going to have the bigger of the draw, bigger tube. But if just something to think about. If you ever got a whiff of sewer smell in around your sink, check this valve out. That could be the culprit. So anyway, because of that leak, I didn't want to risk getting any more leaks. I just bypassed it, and I did something different. So let me show you what I did. A piece of parts, I'll head back out. Alright, back to outside here. So this is what I installed instead. It's kind of the same idea. You know, it's a backflow preventer. It only allows the water to flow one direction. It can't flow back out. Of course, the reason they want this is, just imagine, and I think I've seen people maybe Y off these things, come up with a Y to the city and a Y to the tank, the black tank, so it could just easily flip a valve to rinse the black tank, flip a valve, go back there. But that's a little scary, having a direct connection like that to the black tank. Because, you know, the reason they do that, say for instance, if you didn't have this air gap and you had a hose hooked up here to the black tank, and your black tank was full, so say for instance, you know, the water line was above this, the black tank, and you had that hooked up to the municipality's water system, and for some reason something happened on the municipality side where they had a low pressure event, then it could actually suck the sewage out of your tank into the city's water system. Really make for a bad situation. So that's why those are on there, and that's why they're, I guess, relatively important. So keep that in mind when you're using your Sani flush. Now, back to my problem I had a couple years ago. Every time I would use this, I would get water dripping just a little bit. And, you know, I didn't have this plate out at the time. And, you know, when you're looking up from underneath, it's hard to tell. But, you know, even in here, you got all these dang fittings. And I would just get a drip every now and then until I finally looked way up in there, up behind the sink, and I found the source of the drip, which was this goofy valve. So, anyway, that's been long since fixed. And now I just found this crazy drip here on the black tank. But that got me thinking about that old repair, and I don't think I never made a video about it. So that might give you something to keep your eye on, and just a reminder, you know, when you're in your RV, always look around, look for anything that doesn't look right. If you see a rusty spot and rust don't belong there, you gotta figure out, well, where's that moisture coming from? So, but I'll get me some plumber's tape and fix my little leak here and put this RV back together, and we'll be on to the next video. Thanks for watching.